This is Mike Abraham with World Perspective TV. If this is your first time tuning into our channel, I would like you to kindly push the subscribe button and the bell icon, so anytime that we post new content, you'll receive that notification on your mobile device. I want to talk about an issue that I feel that is very important today. What's going on in Lusaka, Zambia, where there's a Chinese cement company that are holding 100 Zambian citizens hostage because they said that they don't want them to go home to see their families. So it's been over 8 weeks of them keeping them held at the cement company, and their reason is because they don't want them to bring back the coronavirus. Can you imagine that in Zambia, in Africa, the Chinese are ruling our own people and dictating when they cannot go home? Let's think about this, guys. If you go back and watch some of my videos, I talk about us needing to come and pull together, because this is a very serious issue that is only going to get worse if we don't take it serious and work together. And one thing I want us to see, me as being an African American and speaking from my own experience and what I've learned through history and the 500 years of torture and slavery that we've had to try to overcome, and which we're still overcoming, it's very important to remember that we in Africa that are still there, you don't want to feel like you are a foreigner in your own country in the different parts of Africa. So we as Africans, we have to see ourselves as one people. It doesn't matter if you come from Kenya, if you come from Tanzania, if you come from Egypt, if you come from also Gambia, if you come from Senegal, if you come from Cameroon, Nigeria, you come from Ghana as well as Cote d'Ivoire, it doesn't matter. We have to, South Africa, we have to see ourselves as one Africa, because how we are divided in our minds and we're not able to work together, that is how China is coming into Africa, and they're colonizing us all over again. Because if you really look at it, it seems like the colonists have never actually left Africa when it comes to taking our gold, our cocoa, our palm oil, our oil, all the natural resources that we have. You can see that they're still there. Our diamonds. So guys, let's wake up and think about those things. But I find it very, very interesting and sad at the same time that the Chinese can come and do business in Africa, and they can make all the rules and regulations without us being able to have any pushback. So we have to push back. We have to say enough is enough. We're not going to accept that. But I'm really proud that the mayor from Lusaka, Zambia, stood up and said that this is not right, this cannot happen. But we have to really hope that the president, I hope I say his name right, from Zambia, Edgar Lungu, we're hoping and really praying that you would look into this situation and make sure that our Zambian people are not treated like slaves, because there was one whistleblower that actually works on the cement, working for the cement company, and because they're working there, they actually expose what they're doing, keeping people held hostage there, and they're allowing the Chinese management and executives to go home every night to their families or to their homes, but they have to stay there at the company. So we have to think about those things. Is it right for us to be imprisoned in our own country? Is it right for us that we can't go home and see our families for 8 weeks at a time, almost going on 3 weeks, because they say that we will bring back the coronavirus to the cement company? Can you imagine that? So it's kind of crazy if you think about it, that the COVID-19 started from China, and from China it spread everywhere, and now they're saying that you can't go home because you'll bring COVID-19. So guys, let's really think about what we're doing when we're working with the Chinese. We need to negotiate our contracts with them. Around the whole continent of Africa needs to sit down with also President Xi and let him know that the way your Chinese people are doing in all over Africa is not acceptable, because we're getting new cases every day that are coming up about how the Chinese are behaving. So I really want everybody to lock arms and really work together. If you see somebody in your community that are doing things that's not right, you have to become a whistleblower. You have to shine light on those situations, because we cannot allow them to come and colonize us all over again in Africa. We're trying to come out of that. We want our independence, and the only way we can be free is if we work together. So I'm hoping that everybody will see the value of coming together and making this thing happen. So guys, with that being said, brothers and sisters, there's something we really need to think about. We need to think about, do we want the Chinese to come to the continent of Africa and treat us the way they're treating their own people that work in factories? You can just see it for yourself. Some of the people that are working in factories, they don't go home. They sleep right there in the hallways of the factory or on the table, and they're just forced there to just give service and never see any light of living another life. So if we want the Chinese to come and colonize us and do and treat us the way they're treating their own people, then this is what it's going to look like. You're going to stay in the factory. You're going to work from morning till night, not knowing when you can go home. They've already started it in Zambia. And if they have started in Zambia, I can imagine how they even have their own military force, their own military base installation in Djibouti. I can imagine what they're doing there already, but it hasn't been brought to light. So with World Perspective TV, we will make sure that if we get any information of what's going on in any part of Africa, we will make sure we shine light on it. But guys, think about those things. Do you want to work as the Chinese people? If they can treat their own people like this, then you can imagine how they're going to treat us 10 times worse. So think about those things, and I believe that if we come together, as I said, these things can never happen. Former AU ambassador, hope I'm saying her name right, Dr. Erikana Chihobori Kuau, is definitely pushing back and trying to rally the continent of Africa to coming together and work together with African diaspora. And I will put the website link below so that you can see that we all need to go on this website, on the African diaspora website, and whatever you can do. She's waiting. We're looking for 1 million people to lock arms for us to get some of these contracts. We're trying to build our own railways all throughout Africa, trying to make sure that we can come together, whether you have $50 or $100, it doesn't matter, but it's important that we bring our resources together. And if we bring our resources together all over Africa, we'll be able to be at the global platform when it comes to the G20 summits. When they're having those world events, we can stand as one Africa and not every country for himself inside of Africa. Let's think about it, guys. Let's really open our minds and open our hearts to see that even though there might be language barriers and things like this, we can still work together and not divide ourselves within the continent of Africa. So that is my heart's desire, to see us come together. So I think like Dr. Erikana, Chihabari Kuawo said, we need to lock arms, because as she actually had an interview in Amsterdam, Netherlands, she was talking about how Africa is still, the colonists have never left Africa. And because the colonists have never left Africa, that means they're still pulling our resources. They're pulling our gold. They're pulling our diamonds. They're pulling our cocoa. They're pulling our oil. Everything you can imagine that is the natural resources that we have. The colonists are still there, taking it and controlling us. So guys, we have to say enough is enough. United we stand, divided we fall. And I would like to get you guys' perspective on this, because we have to tell President Xi and the Chinese government, their dictatorship will not work in Africa. But the only way it will not work in Africa, if we open our hearts, open our minds, and say we're going to work together in our communities. And if we see the Chinese doing strange things, we need to make sure that we post it. You can kindly send me an email. If you don't feel comfortable being on TV, you can kindly send me an email. We will definitely connect and let everybody know what's going on around the world. So guys, we thank you for your time. If this is your first time watching on World Perspective TV, please hit the subscribe button. Also hit the bell icon, so anytime that we post new content, you'll get the notification on your mobile device. And like I said, let us work together, guys. This is the time where the Chinese, they're all over the continent of Africa, and it's not going to get better until we stand together. And as we stand together and tell them that it's one Africa, not all the countries trying to fight and stand by themselves. No, we work together, and as we work together, we will see that Chinese will have to beat to our drum, not us feeling like we're slaves in Africa. That cannot work. So guys, let us be strong, let's be resilient, let's not give up, and let's have these conversations about, open conversations about what the Chinese are trying to do, and stop them before they continue to take over and destroy our land, destroy our continent of Africa. So one peace, one love, and I'll see you on the next video.